Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, February 27th at 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. Sacramento Blizzard 2018. We will rebuild. It's true. Hail hits the coast and valleys. Heavy snow coats the mountains. Heads up, San Diego. That's you, Willie. It wasn't a drought buster, but we'll take it. An Alaskan storm hit San Diego County early Tuesday, dumping 6 to 7 inches of snow in the mountains and foothills, as we predicted, and almost an inch of rain across some of the inland areas, providing a bit of relief from the drought that has been developing most of the winter. Here's your 24-hour forecast. It's not going to let up. It's a cold night in store for the Southland. In fact, a frost advisory is in effect for the Inland Empire. That includes you, Mount Laguna, predicted to be 24, Julian 28, Palomar 24, Anza 25. Palm Springs, boom, 44. Gonna be chilly, folks, and that's the forecast. Winter storm warnings are still in effect. We'll get to that when we check out the map. Hail blanket at Sacramento, or was it snow? Social media went wild. There's Governor Jerry Brown's dog, Calusa, frolicking. Who gives a about that? I mean, like, who cares? Yay. Wow. It's a corgi. Anyway, I survived Sacramento's mega hailstorm 2018. God be with all of you. So they're having a lot of fun with this. That's the picture I used. Let's check the map. Grand solar minimum forecast, heavy flooding through the center Creighton, Mississippi Valley. We still have flooding here in southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, central Mississippi, northern Mississippi. Most of Tennessee is pretty much flooded out, especially West Tennessee. Kentucky, rain forecast for the next 48 hours is not looking good for these areas. That's a heads up. Winter storm warnings from Oregon, Washington, California, all the way down southern Arizona here. Winter storm warnings all the way into Mexico if we had data. So heads up, southern Arizona. You have, in effect, winter storm warnings for snow in just east of Tucson. Yeah, even though Tucson is still in the watch. Now, weekend snowfall setting records in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is declaring its second snow emergency. A big thaw lies ahead for the Twin Cities after record-setting weekend snowstorm. The National Weather Service saw 6 inches of snow in Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport, which it said was a record for February 24th. The previous snowfall record for the date was 4.8, set back in 2007. And heavy snow in the Twin Cities leads to awesome skiing. Skiing heaven in Lutsen as storms leave behind record snow base. This is coming out just 14 hours ago. It's been a great year for Minnesota's ski resort. If you're planning on dusting off your skis before the winter ends, you might want to consider heading north to Lutsen Mountain. The North Shore Ski Resort, Minnesota's largest, says it has a record snow base after a ridiculous 30 inches fell this week alone. Place looks awesome. Look at these trails over here. I didn't know you had it so good up there in Soda, eh? It means ski season continues well into the spring with guaranteed daily skiing through April 8th and weekends till May. The past 5 days have seen crazy amounts of snowfall in Minnesota. In the Twin Cities, for example, snow levels were 17 inches below normal as of the 21st, and now they're 2.6 inches above. And that is today's first boom. Grand solar minimum much? Where you can get an entire year's worth of snow and rain in just moments. And that's a heads up. God, she's annoying. UK Weather Met Office issues new danger of life warning after 4 people killed on the roads. Guys, people sent me footage of what's going on here. There was one section of highway where there was just accident after accident, after accident, after accident, after accident, after accident. Snow and freezing rain disruption A danger to life warning has been issued by the Met Office as snowfall is set to intensify through the week. The beast from the east has already unleashed a deadly chaos on Britain with dozens of car crashes and 556 schools closed. 3 citizens were killed in a crash between a car and a lorry on the A15 near Baston in Lincolnshire, and another was killed in a collision on the A47 in Cambridgeshire today. There will be no let up to the snow and freezing temperatures, with the Met Office upgrading its weather warnings for many parts of the country from yellow to amber. And that is a Dalmatian boom. Scotland on the cusp of red, extreme weather warnings for snow. Here's a lorry jackknife on the A96 near Keith as the wintry weather moved in. Scotland's transport minister has warned of potentially extreme weather conditions as heavy snow sweeps across the country later this week. Humza Yousaf said the amber warnings in force for many areas for Wednesday and Thursday could be upgraded to red. Heads up, Scotland. You're about to get fluxed. Extreme weather bulletin issued by the Greek Meteorological Service. This is Greece. Yes, the ancient continent is getting snow. The Greek Meteorological Service has issued an extraordinary bulletin warning of extreme wave affecting many regions of the country beginning Tuesday evening, including occasional snowfall expected in the area of Epirus, Thessaly, and west-central mainland Greece, and on Wednesday, snow is to be expected across the areas of western and central Macedonia, higher than 200 meters, and in the afternoon locally in the lowlands and eastern Macedonia and Thrace. Whew. Heads up, Greece. What is going on with her makeup? Is that a thing? Coming directly from Deutschland, Bibert, minus 30.5 Grad, minus 30.5 degrees, new cold record in the Zugspitze. Guys, I was here. It's not that, doesn't get 30.5 to negative 35 in the Zugspitze. In fact, it hasn't been that cold since 1901. Minus 30.5 was cold there night of Tuesday, never before seen in February since 1901 in 117 years, bringing us all the way back into the centennial minimum. And we'll be talking about this era between cycle 13 and 14 because we are repeating all the records in tonight's news are care of the cycle 13-14 boundary and solar minimum, which is very similar to the next 3 years we'll be entering, which will be much worse than the records we're beating now. Because they not only include weather records and low temperatures, they include erupting volcanoes and earthquakes, which we'll be talking about shortly. Siberian cold brings record low temperatures to Norway, as predicted. Sweeping in from Siberia, the winter storm has brought rarely bitter wind to Norway. Temperatures plummeted as low as minus 30 C, and the cold snap is thought to be the most severe cold weather in the past years. The way they write about this is as if they don't have pencils in the country of Norway, and they've never written anything down. They just think it is. Just dress and wear cold cream, says the bunch of idiots that don't have pencils. So far, the coldest temperature was measured in the mountains of southern Norway. Amazing, they even have a thermometer with minus 33.3 degrees, which is half of 666. And that's a heads up for all our people that are waiting for the end times. This kind of Siberian cold is due to a high pressure with cold air blowing in from Russia, but the state meteorologist says to VG that it is not abnormal to have such cold at this time of year. Unless it's a record. But that's not abnormal. The record. It's normal to have the record this time of year. Severe Arctic blast affecting Europe at its peak. We have minus 24 in the Alps here. It's freezing in these regions north of Italy. At least 11 people have been found frozen to death over the past few days as the beast from the east engulfs the continent. Heads up. We're going to be reporting on this for 2 more days. Papua New Guinea, at least 16 dead. That's the total so far after the strongest earthquake ever hits. There are many headlines claiming this is the strongest earthquake ever, which is total nonsense. I don't know how the mainstream gets away with this. There are hundreds of earthquakes that have hit Papua New Guinea above 7.6. And here I'm just going to point out a few dozen, including a 7.8 magnitude right here, which happened 82 years ago on September 20th, 1935. And how about this 8.1 magnitude that happened 104 years ago on May 26, 1914? Bringing us back to the solar minimum here between cycle 13 and 14. Many large quakes back in that era. We have a 7.9 magnitude in Kokopo, East New Britain, at a relatively shallow depth, coming in at 7.9. About a year ago, there was a 7.9. So that is just bad information coming out from the mainstream, and it's not true. Seismic activity is not stopping in that region. Since I started doing research, there has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 earthquakes above 4 magnitude, including a 6.0. 111 kilometers southwest of Porgera, Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. Volcanoes today erupting, Dukono and Sakurajima. Let's talk about Sakurajima. It's an active composite volcano and former island of Kogashima. Sakurajima erupted in 1914. The same time there was a large earthquake in Papua New Guinea. Wow, all in the same year. Now, 1914 is falling right here at the solar minimum of cycle 14, which is very reminiscent of the place we are at the bottom of cycle 24. So we should be expecting larger earthquakes coming out of Papua New Guinea, as well as potentially Sakurajima re-erupting in big ways. And it is re-erupting today. Check out Yuki Z for the footage. We'll come over to spaceweathernews.com and we'll see the new active region on the sun here, illuminating it, not as sunspot, but it did create some small activity here, small perturbations. And notice this interesting how the red line here dropped all the way negative here. I'm going to try to figure out what that means. Because when things drop down like this, it's not good, that low, especially if it's the magnetogram or magnetometer here. You can see we went into geomagnetic storm 24 hours ago, G1 at KP5, but since then we've been quieting down. Come up, check out the plasma, the solar wind stream dropping off. So we should maybe enter a period of KP0 and increase seismic activity over the next 12 to 24 hours. This is associated with that dip down. The electron flux coming way down here. And they're getting a nice light show potentially up here in Canada. But last night I wanted to point out the aurora is coming very far south. So just a quick look at the space weather. Real quick, let's finish up this update. Climate change doomsday vault designed to protect the world's food supply will receive a $13 million upgrade. I wonder what's going on there. They're going to be dumping some money into the seeds. Thankfully, on Monday, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in Norway, dubbed the DOOMSDAY Vault, accepted a delivery of 76,000 new seed samples, surpassing the 1 million mark of seed varieties. That's a lot of varieties. That's a good thing. Guys, if you don't know about the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, I'm going to leave you links to Crop Trust here. Deep inside a mountain on a remote island in the Svalbard archipelago, halfway between the mainland of Norway, which doesn't keep very good climate records, and the true North Pole, lies the Global Seed Vault. It's a great interactive site. Here's an interactive map. They tell you about the need, the purpose, the location. Location, location, location. The storage, 4.5 million variety capacity. They're only at 1 million. There's now 1 million samples in the vault. Minus 18°C is the temperature they keep it at. Look at that fella. That's a ton of seeds. And that's how you store seeds, in a big way. So I'll leave you links to this. It's good to brush up on it because we might all need to get there at some point in the future. If you don't know what's happening in Europe right now, it's sudden stratospheric warming. It's a phenomenon that happens on the planet that's well known. It has nothing to do with global warming or any of the other nonsense that these idiots in the mainstream are trying to shove down your throat. So bone up on the real science of sudden stratospheric warming. It simply refers to a swift jump in the temperatures in the stratosphere that is sometimes linked to the onset of cold weather during winter. And you can listen to this fine chap describe it all, and how it does move down through the atmosphere and what impact it does have on the UK. So this is coming from the Met Office, actually some good information. Now let's talk about Ben Davidson and suspicious observers. He just came out with this video today, Energy from Space. The shift has begun, and I'm recommending that each and every one of you spend an hour of your life to watch this video. It literally is the most up-to-date synopsis of all of the scientific information that you are seeking to know, which is describing all of the Earth changes that we are covering on our channel and that the sheeple are witnessing and totally disregarding, including the pole shift, the flipping magnetic pole, the cosmic ray increase, our position in the universe as we go into a galactic bubble and we get exposed to more galactic cosmic rays. And I really suggest you watch it. It covers a lot of the talks that were recently at the Observing the Frontier conference. So this is the most up-to-date synopsis of all the information that you're looking for, including cloud nucleation, Atlantic multi-decadal oscillation in a negative phase, the PDO going negative, and so on and so on and so forth. If you do not watch this, you're just wasting your time. And that's a heads up. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Do not teach your children to do this to their face. This is not natural. And that's a heads up. Times are changing. And because of that, we're going to be hosting our first radio program on Revolution Radio tomorrow night from 10 to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. Join us every Wednesday night in Studio A to discuss the inconvenient truth, prepping for the grand solar minimum, what you can do to survive and thrive in these changing times. And joining us tomorrow on our first show, Big Boom, Robert Felix, not by fire but by ice, author of many other topics. We'll be discussing them all tomorrow night, especially the pole shift and how he thinks it's the main driver of the glacial cycle. And being a climate scientist, a paleoclimatologist, I can't wait to pick his brains and see what he thinks. And that's a boom. All the graphs that you look at and all the charts that we share on this program can be found on Facebook at Solar Shutdown, which is our site. that we started 5 years ago. Still going strong. Guys, share this video with like-minded people. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This is what's predicted. All of our predictions are coming true. We're not missing anything. The mainstream has missed the mark time and time again for 3 decades. The time is now to start waking up. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance for this prediction. Be safe, everybody.